Things are really getting crazy over at USCIS. Today, I have dealt with 3 different clients' cases where immigration simply does not know what it's doing. And I'm sharing this information with you because I want you to see the lay of the land and to see how cases that are seemingly simple can get messed up by the service. And it is my job to get those cases back on track. So the first example I have for you today is we're filing a premium processing request. I sent in the premium processing request in September. It was rejected. I sent it back again. It was rejected, but this time they rejected the premium processing request and said that you're already premium processing. But I'm not, because it didn't accept the forms and it didn't cash the checks. I have the check in my hand today. So I spent a lot of time today trying to convince an officer at the 1-800 phone number that you can't possibly be premium processing my case because I know you haven't cashed this check. And I finally got the idea across when I said, oh, it must be free now to premium process. And the officer said, oh, no ma'am, no ma'am. One moment, that's a problem. So that's the first example, and I had to write a big cover letter back to immigration to say, please do not reject this. You need to cash the check. Basically telling the mailroom what to do with my package. Now, it should know what to do. I shouldn't have to explain this, but clearly they're not understanding what's going on with this case. For the second example, we received an RFE, and it's for a family-based case, and they said, you submitted documents that were not translated. Please submit the certified translation. Sounds very simple, right? Well, the problem is that there were no documents that were not translated. Everything was translated. So I had to write USCIS a letter, and I had to say, dear USCIS, had to be very polite, of course. We're not exactly sure what you're asking about because everything is translated. And by the way, here's those documents again with the certified translations. So I don't know if the documents got lost in the mailroom or what is happening, but I really had to guess and try to figure out what are they asking. So in the letter, I had to tell them that very politely. We're guessing here. We don't really understand your question, but here's some documents. If this is not right, please be clear and ask us about what you need. So that's the second strange example. The third example, this one is getting more egregious because we filed a form called I-824, and it tells immigration to please send a case file over to the National Visa Center. I filed this form in 2020. It was approved this year, 2022, in February, and until now, which is October 2022, the Immigration Service has failed to send the documents over to the National Visa Center. So finally, I had to contact the USCIS, and we had to get a senator involved. We paid a fee, we waited 2 years, case finally approved, and yet the thing that we paid them to do was not done. So these are 3 examples just today of problems that you can encounter with the Immigration Service. And I have a theory about why we're seeing these strange requests and mailroom problems. My theory is that they are hiring, that they have new workers in both places. Maybe they have new service officers, new mailroom employees who are not very familiar and they're still undergoing training. And the result is that more mistakes are being made than I usually see on my cases. So it was a lot of time today getting those cases back out to immigration or sending the ball back onto their side of the court. Like you're playing tennis, you hit the ball back and say, dear immigration, no, that's not right. Here's what you actually need to do. But my clients rely on me to handle those problems for them. And I hope that after this last salvo of information, documents, requests for evidence responses, that we're going to see some approvals on those cases. So those are 3 examples of how things can go wrong in your immigration case and some suggestions for how to correct them. As usual, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. Click the bell so that you're going to get notifications. And also don't forget to go check us out over on Facebook and TikTok. Have a great day.